It's getting crazy out here, y'all. Stay focused. Let's go, KD. Take a look around you. You can find your way, babe. Yeah, take a look around you. You can find your way, babe.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your eye. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Hey, you the one that say that. You and me go way back. When this whole thing over, I'ma send my invoice payday. You don't wanna say that. You don't want this payback. I keep my composure, this my kingdom, nigga, stay back. We had a couple of moments, you had a choice, nigga, own it. Your real colors, they showing. I'm real, nigga, I'm focused. When I come around, I'm fly with it. Stay moving, do buy with it. New sound, just vibe with it. Same truth and we die with it. I see it like it's an obstacle. I never sit on the fence. Nothing to me is impossible. Music a means to the end. Most of the shit is illogical. All of y'all niggas depend on what they pretend. Just think what you had, stop looking at trends. You wearing your heart like it's topical.
Now the pain is gone, the fame is on, and they play my songs. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, I ain't talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your eye. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. New era, I got y'all. Real game, we pop off, no knockoffs. Open eyes, we watch out. Mobilize, won't cop out. COVID-19 cops out, don't flop now. Open skies, we fly now. New agenda, they try now. Most y'all getting real scared of the headlines, we find out. End game getting real near. If you don't know, you behind now. Behind the times, government hide behind the lines. Most brands trying to monetize. All of us have to stay inside, don't socialize. Talk is talk, and move is move. When I come in, bitch, I change your eye. Got things to do, I done pay my dues. But where was you? Nigga, where was you? I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. I said take a look around you, nigga, find your way, babe. Find your way, babe. Find your way, babe.
Man, it's too early in the morning for this shit. But let's get it. Yeah. Ay, all of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on their chin. Like Everson K2 get mountains of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. I'm dropping slappers to hell with an album. Might fuck around and go see Jimmy Fallon. I multiply while you bury your talents. Cause I'm like a hawk when I bury my talents. Guess what I'm saying? I pray on these niggas. There was a day when I'd pray for these niggas. Now I got nothing to say to these niggas. I pray that God does away with these niggas. I keep my friends close, but my enemies closer. My mental is gross, but my verses are kosher. These girls going wild, but I'm not a poacher, so I just keep shining like Elon, I'm solar. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on their chin. Like Everson K2 get mountains of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. Gotta make this money, only game I know. I'm the only king, this ain't no Game of Thrones. Everybody wanna be a fucking king until it's time to do what a king does. Everywhere I look, it's just kids and drugs. Everywhere I look, it's just gangs and thugs. Can't tame the guns, can't save our loved ones. I grew my funds and I called the plug. Then I filled my lungs, I don't mess with that new shit. Y'all talking tough, but ain't none of y'all do shit. Y'all chasing money, you want the exposure. Y'all think y'all funny and snake Gucci loafers. I don't give disclaimers, I rap full disclosure. These niggas all think they were born in October. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have stacks on plus stacks when I'm older. Stacks when I'm older. Yeah, stacks when I'm older. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have millions in cash when I'm older. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole put nuts on their chin. Like Everson K2 get mountains of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My Benny's are blue, but the product is green.
Full normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What's going on, beaches, booshes, buses, hustles, and yo-hos? It's your boy Papa Swole back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everston K2, flexing on all you All right, fam, welcome to the show 3365, live on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And, of course, head on over to swolenormousx.com to download the amazing brand new Swolenormous app. You could also check out the 7 pillars. Join the Swole fam over there at swolenormousx.com. Tomorrow, we have an announcement. We have a private roundtable, and that's going to be at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Let me bring that up on the screen, and it's only for members. Rise and Swole. So make sure that you are ready for that. We'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Link is on your homepage in your app. The Zoom call will be live at 9:30. So tomorrow's episode will be private for members only, just like the weekend episodes. So make sure you join the fam today and never miss out on a single amazing stream. Looking forward to chatting with all of you tomorrow morning. Now let's get into those first Swole fam posts. Are you ready, beaches? We got one from Ben to kick us off.
What's in the box?
We got a new member in the house. Ben says, hello, my name's Ben and I teach 6th grade in California. At 46, I made the decision to ramp up my fitness journey, and so I'm making some changes. I've lost 40 pounds walking and adjusting my diet following caloric density, but I've gotten as far as I think I'm going to go with that. Summer for me is the best time to start new things because I have the time, so that's what I'm doing. My goal is to lose another 70 pounds, and I've started that by hitting the gym this week using an AI tool to help build a workout. I'm actually on this app to try it out in order to find new resources on different fitness areas. Nutrition is the biggest thing for me, and to find a new community. We'll be filling you all in as I go along on this journey. I was a beast when I was younger, but I used the bullshit excuse of being a busy adult to let things get out of control. Now I'm ready and committed to take back my health, heal my heart and my body, and be a more effective teacher, husband, dad, and grandpa. Well, that's fantastic. Welcome, Ben. Welcome to the fam.
I can't. I fucking can't.
Thank you for sharing. Appreciate you, Ben. Really stoked to have you. And definitely when you join the Swole fam, make sure you post up in the community section. That way we can share your post and everyone can jump in and welcome you to the fam. We got one here from Tammy. Look at this. Cerny's got some competition. Cerny. Tammy says, hi, I am a 65-year-old grandma and I'm working on my nursing home avoidance program. I like that. Nursing home avoidance program. Love it. I must keep healthy and lift heavy to keep my bones strong and my joints moving. I don't feel like I know enough in the gym to be effective. I need help you are in the right place. So make sure you go into the app and welcome Tammy to the fam. Really excited to hear about your progress. We do have chair yoga. We got starter yoga classes. The mobility master classes are going to be a great place to start. Shoulder awareness program. Of course, all the other yoga. Swole Mastery is a great body weight program. 90-day dash. We're stoked to have you. We're stoked to have you here. And what's great to know is we do have the app is optimized for Jitterbug. Not only is it iOS, Android, it's also for Jitterbug. So you got that. Loretta says another member of the Silver Swole, the Silver Swole Club. Indeed. Love it. All right, let's get into some questions. Drop them in the comments, hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. If you're live on Instagram, you could drop your questions in the comments. Links are in the bio on Instagram for the podcast, so you can come on over and catch the full show on Rumble and YouTube at The Daily Swole, and of course, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So let's yeah, don't look for Rumble on YouTube. All right, first question of the day. We're going to get into one from Instagram stories. And I'll pin this one from Anant, and we'll get to that in a second, so just stay tuned. I just pinned it to the account for a second. Tree Cadet 24, is it gym 24/7 365 for you? No, that's ridiculous. You need recovery in a proper program. If you need that, come on over to swolenormousx.com and join the fam, and we will help you with that programming. By the way, the Swole card today, you guys know if you're a member, you got the Swole text. Swole for life, hashtag Swole for life for a chance to win today's Swole card. We'll give it away on Rumble. Hashtag Swole for life. All right, let's get into this question. Anant Sensei. Let's see what we got here. All right, I have a question. My job keeps me 14 hours a day at the office. I don't get time to work out anymore due to financial constraints. I keep working in this underpaid job. What should I do? Any ideas? Well, there's a couple options there. One, you got to make more money so you can learn a new skill and take the necessary steps. In other words, what do you need to do to make more money, to earn more, to learn a new skill, whatever that is, and then work backwards. And what can you do today? And what can you do tomorrow? Maybe you're doing some stuff with AI. Maybe you're learning a new skill day by day, or you get a certification or something that you can increase your earning power, quit your job, or find something else in the meantime. When you say 14 hours a day, everyone has the same amount of time, so you have to prioritize. Train first. Anyone that wants to make progress, whenever someone asks, hey, I have a physical job, what should I do? Train first. You should always prioritize your health and do that first. If you have a 9 to 5, train at 7. If you have an 8 to 4, train at 6, train at 5, train at 4, but prioritize it. Because I understand, I've had physical jobs before, and even personal training is a physical job. You're lifting weights, you're moving around, whether you're doing construction or anything else, that's physically demanding. Afterwards, you're going to be tired, you're going to be wiped out, you're going to be sore, you're not going to want to go to the gym and lift heavy weights. So doing it first will actually set you up for the day with your nutrition, with your mental health, and prioritizing yourself physically is really what real wealth is. Who wants to have a lot of money and be a fat fuck? This is something that I hate seeing around. Living in Florida, training, I've trained, the wealthiest people on the fucking planet. And a lot of these people are just really out of shape. They have fancy cars, they have nice houses, or, who knows what their personal finances are like. A lot of times people are up to their eyeballs in debt because they spend that money to look rich. But real wealth is health. So you've heard the trope, health is wealth, but it's true. Who wants a lot of money if you're sick and you're dying? So take care of your health today. No one wants to get out of a Ferrari and you're fat and you're decrepit and you can barely move. You're better off getting out of a Honda Civic and you're healthy. It's more important. Pam says, my husband changed companies and it was super scary, but an awesome change. And also, the unknown. We talked about what's scary, right? What are your fears? And it's really the unknown. So there's really nothing to fear. What can you do today? What are the things you can do? And control the controllables and do those things. All right, let's take another question here. This one is from...
What's in the box?
Jason Vo 06. Papa Swole, how do beginners start working out at the gym? 1, you get a gym membership. 2, you get a quality program. And 3, you execute on it. Period. That's it. How do beginners start working out? You need a quality program so you know what you're doing and know proper form. Again, of course, I'm going to recommend swolenormousx.com. We don't do any sponsors. I've never done a sponsor, never done any kind of like partnership. And the reason why is because I don't want anyone talking in my ear. I don't want any incentives aside from the things that I want to talk about purely. If there is ever something that comes up, maybe that's something that I'd be interested in, but it depends. The reason why I always talk about Swolenormous X or the merch, papaswolio.com, is because that's what supports the show. That's what supports the content. And that's much more important to me. So I'm always going to be plugging Swolenormous X. And the reason why I say that is because that's what I'm always going to recommend. That's why it was created. So whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, the Swolenormous app and swolenormousx.com has everything you need right there. So it doesn't matter where you're starting. We have a lot of people that have been training for 20 years that join the fam because they need community and they realize they've been doing things wrong for 20 years, or they flatlined, they plateaued, they don't know where to go next. And this will help you go back to the fundamentals and get those accelerated results because you're actually focusing on the most important areas that people often forget. So it simplifies things. That's why it's there, swolenormousx.com. And by the way, we have awesome specials going on. Pick up some merch. Today I'm rocking Forest Pump, and I'm rocking the gray and black GTTFG trucker hat. So go and check them all out. papaswolio.com. Shameless plug because the best merch in the game. Kingston, Papaswolio. What do you think is a good leg workout that can be done at home? If you have weights, progressively overload, lunges, squats, RDLs, stiff leg deadlifts, hypers. There's a lot of good leg workouts. What equipment do you have? You could train anywhere. I train at home. I have a gym at home. So going to the gym doesn't mean that you have to go to a commercial gym. You could train in your living room if you have the materials for it. Sheena says, can fat people fit in a Ferrari, even fit in a Ferrari? Probably not. Probably not. Hard to get out of those super and hypercars if you're fat, especially with bucket seats. Again, you don't want to be concerned, hey, can I go to this restaurant? I can't fit in the chairs. If you're concerned about a car, unless you're 7 feet tall, if you're 7 feet tall, you have to be concerned about, hey, do I fit in this car or this SUV or whatever, right? Because if your head hits the ceiling, you can't use the car. But if you're worried about getting in and out of a car because you're morbidly obese, you have everything ass backwards. I drive by people that are washing their car in their driveway. They have like a new car. They're washing and buffing it. And the guy has like a knee sleeve on and he's morbidly obese. People care more about their fucking cars than they do their body. It's disgusting. If you have a nice car and a fat gut, your incentives and your priorities are completely ass backwards. It's embarrassing. It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. All right. Tal Abarbanel. Papaswolio, my favorite cheat meal. I don't have one. I don't cheat. I don't need to cheat. I eat delicious food. You're going to tell me bacon and eggs. Last night we had, Mama Swolio made some Yukon Gold roasted potatoes. We had pastured eggs over easy and delicious bacon. You call that a cheat meal? I call that delicious. I'd have no desire to eat garbage food. So there's that. If you need a cheat meal, you're not eating properly. The same thing with programming. If you need recovery weeks and you need to deload, your programming sucks. If you need a cheat meal, your nutrition sucks. Period. Period. Sheena says, I used to work 60 hours a week and trashed my health. I told my employer they could either fire me or accept that I was only working 8 hours a day. There you go. Don't kill yourself for a company that doesn't give a fuck about you. They don't give a shit about you. Companies and corporations do not care about you. Maine Marshall. I tried a barbell hack squat for the first time this week. It was different. A barbell hack squat. I liked it better than back squats. What do you consider a barbell hack squat? Holding it on your lower back or holding it behind you or on a slant board? What do you consider a barbell hack squat? That's the real question. That's the real question here. Making sure we're all on the same page. Another question, drop your questions in the comments or your topics. It could also be a topic. It doesn't have to be a question. If you're a member, a lot of times you are pretty appraised of should you be taking creatine and those kinds of questions, but it could also be a topic. So drop that in the chat. I did a Cuban curl. It feels interesting. Interesting? What's a Cuban curl? We actually I think we deported all the Cuban curls. I've never heard of a Cuban curl. You're making shit up. People are just making shit up now. A Cuban curl. Never even heard of that. It's probably like, there's probably another name for it. All right. ELMK, why do you swing the clubs? Because they're awesome. They're awesome for mobility and endurance and wrist health and elbow health. They're fantastic. Pitman71 says corporations care about what they can get from you and not you. They don't care about you. And again, larger corporations, they shouldn't really care about you. That's why you're getting a job. You're doing labor. You're doing a certain job for an outcome. But they don't care about your health. They don't care about your sanity. They don't care about your hopes and dreams. That's not what that's for. If you want that job, you know, you do the things that they tell you to do for the money. You should care about the corporations as much as they care about you. You're putting it, you're showing up and you're doing X, Y, and Z for a paycheck. And you're a paycheck to them. You're on the balance sheet. That's why, oh my God, it's so mean. It's not personal. If they don't need the services anymore, they're going to fire you. And it's not that you're a terrible person, but a lot of times you have to cut down on expenses. You know, businesses have two ways to make profit. Make more money or cut down on expenses, or both. It's not that complicated, right? Mark says, this is from Google, a Cuban curl is a shoulder exercise that strengthens the rotator cuff. Is that like this? That's not a Cuban curl. That's not what that's called. Anyway, don't know what that is. Still don't know what that is. Thanks, Mark, but I still don't know what that is. El Samurai Blanco. Papa, so what's the dumbest equipment you see people bringing to the gym? The dumbest equipment? I don't know. I'll pose that to everyone. What do you guys see that people bring to the gym that's stupid? That people bring to the gym. The dumbest equipment that people bring to the gym. I don't know. Ooh, that's a good one. Phones and tripods. That's a good one. That's a good one. This is why I encourage people to use pen and paper, like a composition book. You shouldn't be dragging your phone around. If you're listening to it for music, it should be in your bag. You shouldn't be scrolling and stuff like that on your phone. A full camera crew. That's a good one. A big ass water bottle. Yeah, like you're going on a Saharan trek and you're not going to have water for 8 weeks. People bring a massive jug of water. You shouldn't be drinking tons of water during a workout anyway. You might need some electrolytes and stuff, but you don't need that much fluid. Singing loud? Who sings loud in the gym? That's brutal. What's the dumbest piece of equipment? I like that, a full camera crew. If you're renting out the gym, you're doing a photo shoot, that's different. But if you're just going to the gym for working out, you're taking up a lot of space because you're filming with a DSLR camera. A speaker in the gym? No, headphones only. I don't even think you're allowed to do that, a speaker to the gym. You shouldn't be. All right. Do you recommend creatine? Oh, speaking of the devil, yes, I do. Creatine's fantastic. Rashad LSG, Papa Swole, can I get decent gains by working out from home? Yes. I can't go to the gym because of hectic work hours. Sure. But progressive overload still exists. If you don't have equipment at home, you're going to limit your growth. So if you have a lot of weights at home or you have dumbbells and you have things you can progress, sure, you can make gains at home. Last one on Instagram stories, and then we'll take a couple more live. So make sure you drop them. Otherwise, we'll move on and we'll have a shorter show. So this is just available for you to post your topics and bring up anything that you want to discuss. Could be current events, could be politics, could be, I don't know, media, could be anything. Just drop your topics in the comments. Hashtag Ask Papa Swole. Pancharietta 1234. How do you lift weight? How do you lift heavy weight without damage? Good question. You progress slowly and consistently. You have good form. You're eating properly. That's important. You don't have unnecessary inflammation in your joints. And you have good form. You have good exercise selection, and you minimize excessive fatigue and excessive damage. You know, leaving maybe a rep in the tank, but you don't understand what one rep in reserve is until you go to failure. And this takes years. It doesn't take like a week to figure out what failure is. So you have to understand what your limits are, how much volume you're doing. And I would say for most people, it's managing your volume. It's learning how to train intensely and managing your volume accordingly. That way you can recover for the next session. Being crippling sore is not proper training. You're overdoing it. You're just overdoing it. You're taking longer to recover and you're setting yourself up for injuries and for lack of progress. So causing damage to your body is not how you grow. You don't want damage. You want stimulus. Freya says there's an old Asian dude at my gym that sings loud during his workout. I figure at his age, just let him do it. At least he's there. Yeah. Every gym has one of those mascots, right? You have that person that's just kind of like, they wear a certain outfit or they have a certain quirk and everyone just kind of like lets them do it. Yeah, you shouldn't be leaving the gym destroyed. You should be leaving the gym with the job accomplished, right? With the progressive overload and the stimulus accomplished. Mark says, I went to one gym where some Greek guy kept on yelling, "Oopa." There you go. There you go. Honestly, if you have headphones in and you're focused on your training, it doesn't really matter if someone's yelling or saying something. But of course, you don't want someone that's, interrupting the experience. If someone's like yelling like, up, come on. Yeah, buddy. A little Ronnie Coleman style, that's okay. Lightweight, baby. Lightweight. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight, baby. Jason, how long did it take you from fat to where you now? I wasn't fat. What makes you think I was fat? I've been taking care of my health. I've been training for 25 years, so I never let myself go. Bulking too much doesn't really count. But there's no need for you to be fat. Just because most people are fat doesn't mean that's normal. Average is not normal these days. It's not normal. And people justify obesity and bad behaviors because everyone around is fat and gross. This is why when it came to like the Jennifer Love Hewitt stuff, people's standards are so fucking low right now that fat people are like, wow, you look great. Because we're trying not to hurt people's feelings or try to justify obesity. But yeah, our standards for health our perspective is so off as a society. You see celebrities, wow, that person's ripped. It's like they have a gut and they don't look like they have any muscle tone. What are you talking about? They're ripped. So people's perceptions of what's healthy these days and what is physically fit is atrocious. Adam, my joints always hurt after calisthenics because your programming sucks. Should I reduce my daily 5,000 pull-ups to just 1,500? You're not doing 5,000 pull-ups a day, bro. I call massive bullshit. You be doing pull-ups all day. You're not doing 5,000 a day. Bullshit. I haven't looked at all the comments on the Jennifer. I'm not looking at comments. No. Let people cry about it. It's true. See ya, Swolio. Stay strong. I will. Ain't nothing but a peanut. All right. Slow in the chat today. Drop your questions. We're going to move on and we'll wrap up. We got a Swole card. We do have a throwback. And tomorrow we have a Rise and Swole episode for members only. Tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Maine Marshall. What advice would you give to someone who doesn't feel content with his job and doesn't know what goals to aim for a work career path? Well, I guess it depends how old you are, what your expenses are, and your tolerance for risk. So, goals to aim for should be to make more money and stack sats, in my opinion. But I would recommend learning a trade. learning a trade that is not going to be at risk for the AI, for where AI is going. A lot of things like coding and app programming, a lot of that stuff, unless you're on the cutting edge of that, you can definitely create programs, you can create agents, you can do all sorts of stuff. So learning that as a skill, but things like plumbing, electrician, HVAC and stuff, you're still going to need humans. And there's a massive, massive need for trade jobs, welding and all sorts of stuff like that. Massive. And in terms of like the debt, or in terms of the requirements to get into those fields and apprenticeships, it's much faster than it is for college, because you're just getting in debt with college. You could do a trade school for 10, 20 grand or something, depending on grants and this, that, and the other. So if you're looking to make more money and maximize your time and your profit and not get into debt and things like that, trades are underrated. The problem with our society, or where we went in the past like couple decades, is, and this is why the Department of Education is garbage. It's just an indoctrination system. So they're trying to get you all to college. Everyone has to go to college, and guess what that does? It expands the bloat in college bullshit degrees, and college doesn't mean anything anymore. So people are getting into a couple $100,000 worth of debt. And when everyone went to college, you don't stand out. So you need something that is, I don't want to say more rare, but you need something that is actually in demand. And trades are in demand. You can't have AI fix your toilet clog, fix your sink, and plumbing isn't always just like fixing like shit clogs. Like, you're doing sewage, you're doing different things, but you're also doing faucets, you're doing piping, you're doing new builds. There's a lot of need for those types of trades. And you get to work and you learn skills that are going to be valuable. You might have specific situations where they might have a robot that can do one task, but it has to be specifically what's programmed. A robot is not anywhere close to going into a house. Hey, find the leak, analyze this. You have companies that might be able to use these scanners and stuff like that. There's really cool stuff with automotive where like it scans automatically like the car and leaks and tread, but you still need people to actually physically do the tasks. So you might get automations and stuff on an assembly line or a production line, or on specific tasks to create things, but you need people to go in to assess and to do those types of jobs. I mean, think about HVAC. Think about like HVAC in Florida. ACs are always going to need to be replaced and fixed and monitored and updated. Like, if you're not living in Florida unless you have air conditioning in most places in the country, especially in the summer, but especially down in like warmer climates like Arizona and Texas and Florida, where it's always hot for the most part. I know Texas gets cold, but Florida's hot all the time. Even in the winter, you want AC for most cases. So you have to find your purpose and work your way backwards, but you need to increase your earning power. Making more money will definitely solve a lot of other issues. And you could also do something on the side that's maybe more of a passion project. And building a business on the side, you can do that. And you could use AI to leverage to create your own business based on something that you like. But you need to make more money in the meantime to give yourself the freedom and the ability to maximize your time outside. Pam says trades are usually pretty good. My husband is union, though. He started working at 18 in trades. Mark says, I grew up with, if you don't go to college, you'll be a loser. Exactly. And those same people can't even do basic manual labor. Yeah, that was the scam. That was the scam. So you go to college and you get a worthless degree and you can't pay it off. And you have these extreme, like adjustable rate financing that fucks people over. It's stupid. Sheena says, my daughter wanted to go to a culinary institute that would cost a total of $250,000 to cook. I told her no fucking way. Smart. She can go on YouTube and learn how to cook. She'll learn more about cooking by just cooking. Your daughter, think about this. Your daughter could start a YouTube channel that's called Learn to Cook, and she could document herself learning to cook. I'm sure there is a channel called Learn to Cook. You know what I'm saying? But she can actually like record and like build, a brand or whatever, but just like recording and videotaping her with recipes and experimenting and learning to cook. It's just you don't have to go to, that's like, again, that's like going to business school to learn how to, I'm learning business. You know how you learn business? You read business books, autobiographies from people that started businesses, and you start a fucking business. That's how you learn how to run a business, by starting a business. Sheena says she's doing culinary classes at the trade school here, so I told her she'd be better off going to community college for hotel and restaurant management to go with her culinary classes, if that's even necessary. But yeah, it's a better choice. Nini Simone, Papa Swolio, what advice would you give for a beginner at bodybuilding? For a female who has lost 100 pounds, what advice? Stay the course, follow the 7 pillars, be consistent, lift heavy weights, progressively overload. I mean, I would give the same thing for a female who lost 100 pounds as to a guy who's skinny and wants to build muscle. Build muscle. Lift heavy, learn how to train hard, learn how to manage fatigue and progressively overload. Bing, bang, boom. And get on a quality program. A program keeps you more consistent because it keeps you on it keeps you on a map. You're doing this because it's this day to do this, and it gives you a foundation. Now, any program that you start with doesn't necessarily mean that's the programming that you're going to use in a year or 2 years. But you have to start somewhere, and you start a program, and then you learn what you like and don't like and what works for you and what doesn't. And that's the benefit, and that's the beauty of Swolenormous X and the Swolenormous app, is that once you start a program and you go through, you learn those fundamentals, you know, hey, I want to do more of this. I want to do less of this. I really like this. This works better for my body more than this. And then you know, and we can help you with that next program and where you go. Sometimes you repeat the program. And a lot of members, you'll stay on a program for a while because you really like it. And then when you need or when it's necessary, you just make minor tweaks. You don't have to make drastic changes, nor should you. Proper programming is consistent for months and months and months and months, if not years. That is true. Sheena says she's working at the hospital here in the kitchen while she finishes high school. I told her that experience will go a lot farther in her career than any culinary institute. I agree with that. Smart. She's not getting into debt, and she's working and she's making money, right? So she's working, making money, and learning because you don't learn. A lot of times people will be like, oh, I really want to learn how to cook. So they go to Culinary Institute or whatever, 250 grand, they get out, they start working in a kitchen and realize, oh, I fucking hate this. It sucks. People do this. They go to college and then law school and then start working in a legal firm, and they hate it. So all that money, all that time, and that could have been saved by doing an internship over the summer, being like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to have anything to do with these people. This is awful. And that's why they try to get you into college so they can get you into debt and overcharge you with these bullshit loans and these bullshit degrees. And then you get out. They don't give a shit if you get a job when you get out. These colleges don't give a fuck. They already got their money. They don't care. They don't care. Get your experience. Go work in the field. I was really glad to do. At one point, this is long time ago, I considered doing physical therapy because I was like, after exercise science, and I was like, what else am I going to do? Okay, physical therapy. So I started doing some other classes, and I was going to apply to physical therapy school. And I had a client whose neighbor owned a physical therapy practice. So I did some shadowing there, and it fucking sucked. It was boring. It was slow. I hated it. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do this. That sucks. Save myself a lot of time and money. I just know the human body, and I was interested. And it's like, I don't want to be sitting there icing people and doing do 10 more reps with this band. I don't want to work with people that are injured. Not my thing. There are other people that might like to do that. Fine, they can do it. Not for me. But I learned that because I went out and I got experience, and I shadowed that, and I was in the field there, and I realized, nope, don't want this. A lot of people don't do that. They do the opposite. They get into the field and they spent all this money and all this time, and they're down this career path, and they have too much of an ego to be like, all right, that's their identity now. They can't undo that. Most people aren't going to go and get this degree and do all this stuff and then be like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'll do something else. You still owe that money. And now you're more in debt and you hate what you do. Trades and apprenticeships are the way to go. Think about that. You go through high school, you're still getting indoctrinated, right? You should learn to love learning. And that's what apprenticeships does. It gets you to acquire information and useful information. Like you become an electrician, you go through apprenticeship, you're always like, you have something that's always valuable and you're going to have a job and you're going to make good money. It doesn't mean you have to do that for the rest of your life, but you're not in crippling debt. Getting a job right after high school or a paid apprenticeship or something that's entry level, you save yourself from getting into crazy debt. Maybe you went to school, right? You did a trade school, but that's going to be what, 10 grand, 15 grand, even if it's 20 grand, that's not much. You'll make that back. And you're making money in the meantime, working in high school. You're not getting into that kind of debt. You're already able to save and buy Bitcoin and, invest in like a Roth IRA or whatever it is. And you come out of school and you come out of this on top in the positive rather than just 300. You're already in the hole. You're a slave for the rest of your life. That's what college is. It enslaves you. Unless you're working and you're paying it all off. But what job are you going to get that's going to be able to pay off 100 or 150 grand a year during college? Like that's not going to happen. Very unlikely. And the way you make your money doesn't have to be what you do for the rest of your life. You can do that and then build something online or something on the side. But that money gives you the leverage and gives you the ability to learn other skills in your spare time. It depends on what effort you're looking to put in. If you enjoy Star Wars or Lego or things like that, you can build that kind of an audience and that kind of content online. It takes time. I know because I did it. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And you have to get good at that, but it takes a while to get good and it takes a while. And if you're interested in it, you're going to keep on doing it. So it's either you create your own thing, pick something, don't get into debt for it. How about that? Mark says, it took me a while to get my degree because I refused to get a loan and go into debt. Yeah, but how much better off are you now? Sheena says, I have 2 degrees. I have an associate's in graphic design and a bachelor's in nutritional science. My job has nothing to do with either of those. I'm a business analyst for an insurance company. And think about graphic design. AI is replacing all that. It's good to have some graphic design skills if you want to get a foundation with like an AI. But now you go into like ChatGPT, like make a picture, blah, blah, and it does great. It does great. You can get a great foundation. Like AI and this kind of stuff is going to eliminate most, if not all of that. Video editing, all these things are going away quickly. Next 5 years, like you're not going to need a video editor. You'll be like, hey, take this video and make it boom, 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 boom. And it will do it. It's already doing it very well. Like it's going to do it even better. All those videos I post with like the baby, my God, it's like, it's not perfect. It's obviously AI, but that's fucking great. It's going to get to the point where I don't have to do another video ever. It'll be like, hey, take this video and put this other shirt on Papa Swole. Take this and put this shirt on instead. I don't have to film a new video. I could just change the shirt. Hey, take this shirt and make him wear this shirt instead. Cool. And you're not going to be able to tell the difference. All right, last chance for questions and topics. AI can definitely take over the show when I'm gone. AI can answer for me when someone asks a question about creatine or intermittent fasting. It will automatically call you retarded and then move on. That's what's going to happen. The podcast will be able to be generated in perpetuity forever. Gina says high schools definitely need to emphasize trade schools as options rather than typical colleges and universities where kids are coming out woefully unprepared for the real world. Yeah. It became like, go to college, you're going to get a better job. Go to college. It's the opposite. Schools really need to be prioritizing trades. That's been the biggest scam and the biggest travesty in our system is incentivizing kids to go away from trades, which is awful. And now we have a huge deficit in people that are skilled in trades. So there's a lot of ability there. And like I said, if you become a plumber or you get into plumbing or electrician or HVAC, you do that. You can also start a business. It could be a 1-person thing and then you expand and then you hire someone else. You start your own business doing that to the point where you can run the business. You don't have to be, but you understand the job. If you understand the job, that's a good thing. If you can start an HVAC or whatever company, even without skills, but you're not going to know where to begin. You're not going to know who to hire and who's good and who's not. So you don't really know about it. You could open a medical center and not be a doctor, but you need to have you need capital. You're going to need someone that is a doctor that can manage it in X, Y, and Z. So not everyone can do that and swing that. You have to understand the business. So that can be that could be a segue into creating a business in that field. Sheena says, how I got to where I am now is I started at this company as an intern, went full-time doing data entry, then was promoted to an underwriter, then promoted to my current position over 25 years. Indeed. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me shift over. I'm going to shift over into the other account. I'm going to go into the Swole Armors account and see if we can wake this up again. So I'll be live on the other account on Instagram in a second. Just going to end this. Discard. It's amazing. Instagram does not promote lives at all. At all. So you guys can drop your experiences in the comments. Bunch of questions and topics about education and careers. One thing that I knew when I got out of college, like I definitely didn't need to go to college to be do personal training and stuff like that. So I was grateful that my advisor recommended that I go and work in the field before I went and got a master's, which would have just been another $100K or whatever in debt to do something that I wouldn't be unnecessary. So I'm glad I was recommended to not do advanced degrees, because that's what you do when you go to college. It's like, okay, you move on and stay in school. You stay in a bubble, and these things are designed to keep you in a bubble and indoctrinated and in that human centipede of the indoctrination system. Universities are a scam. So you go to college, what do they want you to do? They want you to take out another loan and get a master's degree. Everyone has a college degree, so now a master's. Everyone's got a master's. Masters are easy. You can get masters. You can get a degree online. It's like a certification. Just go online and have someone give you a certification. Most certifications are bullshit. And then if you have a certification, you got to pay every year or two to keep your continuing education credits up, which is a scam in itself. Ben Peterson on YouTube. My grandpa gave me shit when I told him I was thinking about majoring in psychology. His response was, you better start filling out fast food applications then or plan on selling cars. Based. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do with that? You major in psychology. AI is a better psychologist than people wallow in their problems and just... Bottom line, go out and you apprentice. Go out and work in the world. And then if like a degree or something is required for you to do X, Y, and Z, then you can reconsider. But just to go and get a degree in something that you're interested in, if you're interested in psychology, read everything you can on psychology. Read all the top books. You could obsess and you'll learn more about that on your own. What do you need that for? What are you trying to accomplish? And if you don't know, then don't do it. People go to college and I don't know what I'm going to study. And they spend the first year or two just taking bullshit basket weaving classes. And they're in debt just to figure out what they want to do. You figure that out by going in the world and working different things. And then if you need to go to college or to move forward in that field for whatever reason, then you do so. But going to college without knowing what you want to do is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time in most respects anyway. Period. Sheena says, one thing I learned is the shit they teach in college for nutrition is bullshit. I've learned more accurate information on my own than I did in college. Same thing with exercise and health. Absolutely. And medicine. Absolutely. Maine Marshall. They keep requiring my wife to further her education as an elementary teacher. Got her master's recently and went $20,000 more in debt and makes very little more. Yep. It's just a money pit. Well, if you want to maintain and teach for us, you have to keep on paying this and paying this. There's a lot of lobbies and places that require for the state, they get paid, so they get grifted and they make money for administrative fees, and it's not benefiting anyone more. It's just a money pit. So it takes her time and more her cost, and she's not making more. Yeah, you become a slave to the system that's already broken. Why am I so against calisthenics? I've never once said I'm against calisthenics. So you're not paying attention. Why do you say it's a crap program? What are you trying to accomplish, dude? You're doing a lot of pull-ups. Why? Do you want to build muscle? Then lift heavier weights. Your body isn't getting heavier, so you're maxing out your mechanical tension and your overload. Mark says, I learned more from having a curious mind and looking stuff up more than doing that from any classroom. Jeremy says, that's what I did with affiliate marketing. I read and watched everything I could find. No schooling needed. Exactly. I learned how to video edit by starting to video edit because no one was doing it for me. So I learned how to edit videos. And when I wanted to do something, how do I cut this? Oh, and I watched a YouTube video. Oh, that's how I do it. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? How do I do masking? How do I I learned to do all sorts of stuff by watching videos and then doing it, and watching a tutorial and going along with the tutorial and then doing it. I need to go to school to learn how to video edit. That's stupid. That's a waste of time and money. You'll learn more faster. Yep, I went to college. It was like 20 years ago. I graduated. I'm just glad I did exercise science and stuff. So at least it benefited me for a couple things at the time. So I'm glad I actually used it. There's a couple things where like, oh, I had a college degree, so that gave me some leverage at the time. Now, I didn't need to. Like, looking back, it's like, okay, I might not have been able to do exactly the same things that I did because at the time it was more valuable than it is today. Today, it's just insane. Plus, if you're sending your kids to college or they're going to college, they're just going to get brainwashed. Parents aren't raising their kids. The state is raising their kids through high school, and then you're letting all these Marxist libtards indoctrinate them in college. You're sending them thousands of miles away so they could be brainwashed and get in debt and get in crippling debt. It's just the world is changing so much faster than people understand, and it has been for a while. College has been a waste of time for a long time. Pitman says, having to lay off upper body for a few days, having some slight anterior shoulder pain. Oh no. Shoulder awareness program, my guy. I am Indy Marie. I am contemplating between exercise science or PTA, but I am a CPT as of now. So why are you going to do exercise science? That's a good question. So you're a certified personal trainer. That's all you're. If you have a degree in exercise science, you're going to be a certified personal trainer with more debt. You do not need a college degree to be a personal trainer. I would have been better off, I'm not, like I said, there were a couple benefits at the time for having a college degree, but you definitely don't need that to be a certified personal trainer unless you want to get in couple $100,000 worth of debt. You're not going to learn anything more than what you're already doing. You want to be a physical therapist assistant? Have you ever shadowed? Go and see if you can get if you're able to go and do some hours after high school, or I don't know how old you are. But you can go to a local physical therapist center and be like, hey, I'm interested in maybe doing physical therapy or being a PTA. Is it okay if I come in and shadow for free and I can help, gathering some things or doing some cleaning just to be around and see how it functions, and maybe shadow one of your PTAs or your physical therapists just for a couple hours a week. And then you can see if it's something you actually want to do. And then look, if you love it, oh my God, I love this. Cool. Then you can actually go through whatever degree or whatever you need, but then you actually have a direction and that's what you want to do. You might shadow a couple places, or you go and then you realize, oh, I don't want to do this anyway. Cool. You save yourself a few $100,000 of debt for the rest of your life. Because don't forget, people, they look at the money, they don't look at the interest rates. So you're borrowing a couple $100,000, but your interest rates are insane. So you might be paying that off or deferring it, and it's accruing interest. You're paying that off for the rest of your life sometimes. You don't need to. You're better off just becoming an electrician or doing yard work, buying Bitcoin, and just having a simple life and delaying gratification into the future. And that's another part of the scam. Karen says, my daughter is an occupational therapy assistant. She loves it. There are lots of jobs for PTAs. To be an actual PT as a doctorate program. Yeah, and that's another scam. Physical therapy used to be a master's program. But of course, if they extend it and make it a 3-year program, they make more money. And if they call it a doctorate program, they can charge more. So that used to be a master's program. It used to be 2 years. Now they expand it for no reason. Most of the classes and stuff, it slows you down. They don't put you into application clinical stuff until the end. You should be thrown right into that from the start. You learn more on the job. You learn what to actually do. So most of these programs are just expanded and dragged out just to justify more money for administrative bloat and other bullshit. You know, I mean, honestly, I think most physical therapy, and it should be like a certification. You don't need a fucking degree for that kind of stuff. You could be under, like if you're an assistant, then be an assistant and you can learn on the job. Most of the stuff is basic. You don't need to know all the different movements of the body. You just need to know what to do for a certain thing. Oh, this is how you know, a lot of it is just really basic human knowledge and not being an idiot and just learning what is actually required for the job. You don't need years of schooling and stuff for a lot of these things. In other words, it could be done at the same time and fast tracked. Most of this stuff is just, why does it take 2 years or 3 years or 4 years? Give me a break. Give me a break. If you're passionate about it, you want to learn, you still need to know what you need to do, but you can really, you can start learning the actual shit from the start. Again, when you think about it, the master's program, physical therapy, used to be a master's of physical therapy, an MPT or whatever you want to call it. Now it's a DPT. Ooh, it's a doctorate. What, are you going to call someone doctor? Oh, excuse me, doctor. No. If you have a PhD, calling someone doctor that has a PhD is a crime. Should be a crime. That's insane, right? Like Dr. Jill Biden. It's like the doctor of education. Give me a fucking break. If you're a medical doctor, you could be called doctor. Everyone else, you're just LARPing. You don't get to be called a doctor if you do anything else. That's insane. It's ridiculous. You know, a physical therapist. Excuse me, doctor. Oh yeah, stretch your calves. Put this put a heat pack on it. That's exactly right. Karen says the assistants do all the work. Correct. The only difference is they can't write the plans. My daughter, that is an OTA, actually got her bachelor's in psychology, got a great job, and went back to get OTA. That's true. You need to be working under. Same thing with a physician's assistant. So people become a physician assistant, and that's the person, if you go to the doctor's office, that's the first person that comes in. The physician's assistant is making sure and getting all the data, and then the doctor comes in, the doctor comes in, looks at the chart, and then comes in for 5 minutes. Okay, we're going to do this, writes the script. A lot of times the PA will write the script, but it's on the doctor's letterhead. It's under their insurance and under their medical license. So that's physician assistants is the way to expand. And that's the problem with all the bloat, with all the insurance scams and the medical costs and everything. A doctor needs to see 150 patients a day. So you have physician's assistants. It justified that position to maximize how many patients you can see rather than the doctor actually learning about nutrition, coming at it from a holistic approach and spending, half an hour with a person. But we don't do that. It's a mill in and out. We need 5 physician's assistants because I need to cover my malpractice insurance. Give them a script. On your way. Next. It's just Yeah, if people are flaunting, on social media and they're always flaunting their degrees, like I have a PhD in this, most of the time they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. They're trying to justify their student loans and their ego. Anyone that's flaunting degrees and certifications, you should be skeptical. If they're leveraging that and that appeal to authority, right? Wearing a white lab coat, or they have all these fucking letters in their name. They're compensating for, like, hey, look, I know what I'm talking about. Look at these letters. Look what I paid for. If you know what you're talking, if you know what you can know what you're talking about, and not have 30 fucking letters after your name. I had all the certifications. I let most of those, strength training certifications expire because it's just a money grift. I saw for what it was. I still have all the information. I have much more knowledge because I obsess and I apply and I've done all this stuff. So I don't flaunt any of that stuff because I'm not proud of it. It's not worthwhile maintaining. You can learn more on your own and accelerate. Correct information is correct information. Doesn't matter who's saying it. And the chances are that someone that's flaunting and hiding behind multiple consonants after their name, they're doing that to compensate for not really knowing what the fuck they're talking about and trying to justify the time that they spent and use that as like a, an economic cudgel in order to demand that you respect them. Respect my authority. Look at these letters after my name. I don't give a shit. What you're saying is idiotic. Oh, I'm a nutritionist. Well, you're a bad nutritionist. You spent all that. And that's the thing. You have all these letters after your name and you say stupid shit. Well, okay. You're in debt and you paid all this stuff to not know anything. Could have saved a lot of money and just been an idiot on your own. Karen says, same with nurse anesthesia. It used to be a master's. Now it's a doctorate program. Yep. They can demand more money. Now you're paying for a doctorate. Ooh, fancy, an extra year. Better take out another $100,000 for that loan. Big scam. Big scam. Ben says, unless you want to teach PE. Oh, you mean get a master's? Right. Like you go and you get an exercise science degree, and then you get like a master's in physical education. What, to be a gym teacher at a public school? Are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. You don't need a gym teacher in school. What you need to do, right? You want to be a lot better? Here, I got your whole gym program here, right? Here's what you do for a school. You partner up with a local martial arts studio, and you partner up with a local yoga studio. Boom. The kids come in, they do yoga, they do martial arts, they do yoga. There's your entire gym program. You don't need all that, let's play dodgeball. Stupid shit. Martial arts and yoga, it's like, boom. That's awesome. That's all you need. Partner up with a local studio, helps your community, and the kids are actually going to get healthier. And then you feed them real food. Shocker. All right. Anything else? Last chance for topics, follow up, anything like this. Hashtag Swole for life for a chance to win the Swole card on Rumble. Karen says you cannot work during that time. It's pretty much a full-time job while you're in the program. Correct. So you're in debt and then you get out and then you're just, it's like having a noose around. Ben says the problem is you have politicians at the state level who have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, micromanaging what we do at the class level, state level and federal level. So, yep. Look, you have doctors that don't know the first thing about nutrition and health. They know how to prescribe you something. They know what pill to get you to take or what experimental injection to take because they're told to do this. Hey, give them this, prescribe this, or you lose your license. It's coercive and it's evil. Big scam. Last chance for questions. If you're on Instagram, drop a couple more. Any other topics? Rumble, YouTube, Swole Fam here. Episode 3365. Join us over at swolenormousx.com. Download the Swolenormous app. Join the fam today. Any topics you want to ask, now's the time to do so. We're about to sign off. Welcome to the show, Cerny. Gina says, doctors are the worst when it comes to nutrition and exercise. The only thing they know how to say is, quote, eat 1,000 calories and you'll lose weight. It's terrible. Yeah, it's like the Auschwitz diet. Starving yourself, eating 1,000 calories a day. You're not functioning on that. Eating quality food. You know, imagine, you know, you take the oath, right? Do no harm. And you're just giving people prescriptions and trying to lower cholesterol and all this bullshit. Yeah. Ridiculous. All right, I just see something on my. Is that a joke? No. No, that's got to be a joke. No way. Is that real? All right, we got to go watch this. All right, if you're watching on, let's see, Tonebone, what up? How the hell do I eat 190 grams of protein a day? Also, what happens if I still hit the gym 5 times a week, but don't hit the macros all the way? Why 190 grams? You need about 0.8 per gram of body weight. Progressive overload is how you build muscle, getting stronger. That's how you can build muscle. Building muscle gets you stronger. If you break it up into multiple meals, people over obsess with protein and they don't eat enough quality foods and overall caloric value and nutritional value and nutrient density. We got to get into this topic. This is about a city-funded grocery store. Obviously, it's communism. City-funded grocery stores do not work. And we got to cover this one. All right. We are getting into this. You can come follow over on Rumble and YouTube. Thanks for asking questions. A little quiet on Instagram, but thanks for being here. We'll see you over there. All right. No, it's not New York. Okay, so let's get into this. Apparently, a city-funded grocery store trial in Kansas City has already failed. Shelves are completely empty, food rotten, and theft. Oh, delicious. Yeah, so again, this is what New York was trying to, that whatever mayor, that communist was trying to promote. We say it doesn't work because it puts small businesses out of business and there's going to be bread lines. This is why communism always leads to bread lines and death and starvation. It's never worked and never will. Let's play this.
It's clear this Sunfresh at 31st and Prospect is struggling. This is the first section people see when they come in. There's barely any produce. A lot of the coolers and shelves around the store look the same way, empty. So shoppers have been asking us, if the store isn't closing, then where's all the food? A rotten smell comes through the door, and anywhere you turn, you'll see products that need to be restocked. No hot food or deli.
I watch people walk in and walk out.
The grocery store has received financial assistance from the city, but has been unable to keep those shelves stocked in an area that in the past has often been referred to as a food desert.
Around here, a good thing don't last too long.
And it will impact a lot of people and a lot of families.
The city owns the Linwood Shopping Center. A nonprofit operates the grocery store.
Okay, anyway, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you want to kill people and you want to create like massive destruction and death, then you destroy capitalism and you have city-funded bullshit. Or again, do you want your grocery store run by like the DMV? Like the DMV is a fucking disaster everywhere. And that's what government run. Go to a government run website. It looks like it's on Web 1.0. Everything falls apart. So they'll keep pushing this stuff because, again, most people, unfortunately, are retarded. And you tell them, oh, it's going to be state-run, price controls. Sure, you have price controls, and then small businesses can't make a profit. They go out of business. And then you have way too many people getting price-controlled food. They buy up all the food. You're giving out free money, so then they're using their EBT cards and all this shit, and they're getting free food, and there's limited amounts of it. So then there's lines around the block, and it's empty, and then boom. There you go. So that's what happens always. All right, that was, woof. My God, that was cringe. Not surprised, though. Yeah, that's a problem. Ben says pay $200 for an office visit, then for them to refer you to someone else who says they know what they're doing. That's the problem with medicine is specialists. I'm not saying never have a specialist, but the body is a complex system. Like you're going to go to someone that does, right? Send this to this person who just does the intestines. Oh, you have a kidney problem. Go to the kidney doctor. Oh, your foot hurts. Go to the podiatrist. You know? It's like, okay, go to the brain doctor. Go to the nervous system. He focuses on the nervous system. It's a whole fucking system, the whole body. So if you're not looking at the body from a holistic approach, like in its entirety, then you're not actually solving the issue. But again, it's not about solving the issue. It's about targeting the symptoms. So then you end up going to 10 specialists, everyone's wheels get greased, and you're still sick and sicker than ever and pumped full of 20 medications. Okay, hashtag Swole for life. And then we'll actually do a throwback. So let's give the Swole card away. Thanks for being here, Beaches. Good stuff. Swole for life. All right. We got a winner. Maybe he's having a chicken dinner, but hopefully it's beef. Today's winner is Jeremy Beast Mode. Congratulations! And I think I saw somewhere in the chat, actually, as I scrolled up and landed on it. It's Noah's birthday. Is that true? Congratulations. Happy birthday, Noah. Maybe Noah got this card. Hashtag Swole for life. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3365 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Fam, we are moving forward with a lot of different things. We are on the precipice. I've been mentioning this. We are on the precipice of launching Bull Cream, Scalp Seed, and Mane Gains. It's still scheduled probably in the next week or so. Maybe even sooner, we'll be maybe launching them on the site for pre-orders. And then when they're ready to go out, they'll ship immediately. So stay tuned for that. And very excited. Very, very excited. So again, papaswolio.com. All that stuff will be available there. First come, first serve for these initial batches. So we'll let you know when that's available so you can go and place your order. So maybe we'll do like a brief pre-order. That way when they're ready, bam, it's going to be going out. Yeah, you're going to get this. You're going to get this and probably other things before GTA 6. You're never getting GTA 6. Get the fuck out of here. You're never getting that. It's a scam. They're just teasing you. Use never getting GTA 6. All right. Thanks for being here, Beaches. Appreciate you. Tomorrow, remember, private episode, and it's going to be Roundtable 89 tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So we'll see you then. SwoleNormousX.com. Join the fam. It's right there on your homepage. Add it to your calendar, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for the Roundtable. See you bright and early, fam. Peace, McGee. Deuce Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint. Chill. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing?
yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you